Good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? Good morning, JW, Cynthia, and Melanie. Good to see you. Good morning. And man, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. A lot of stuff happening today that, well, probably doesn't mean a whole lot of anything, but it's always interesting to see. So what we have here today. Ooh, well, as normal. It's like the old man on the hill. They got 7 Democrats says that he should drop out. Now this is becoming just like almost ridiculous to the point where you just cannot. It's hard to believe that he hasn't at this point dropped out. But hey, this is Washington. This is how things go. The mood on Capitol Hill turned grimly uncertain Tuesday as Democrats wrestled over President Biden's reelection, an extraordinary question before them whether to stand behind his candidacy or push the president to bow out amid concerns over his ability to lead them to victory. Well, who else is going to lie and cheat for you just like this guy here? Who's going to do it? It's a remarkable moment for the president and his party, with Democrats in Congress seriously questioning Biden's place at the top of the ticket weeks before the Democrat National Convention. It's weird, isn't it, that they would just not kick this guy off? Good morning. Good morning, Jetty. It's good to see you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And of course, made it through Hurricane Beryl. A lot of water, but didn't lose that much. That's a good thing. But, according to the AP, you guys are, going to be suffering and the whole world is coming to an end because, for the past, several thousand years, we haven't been able to withstand heat. It's weird, isn't it? I don't know. Just saying. Hasn't really changed that much. Nothing's really changed. As much as they like to tell us it has. Stopping short of calling for Biden to drop out, Bennett spoke forcefully on CNN about the danger of a second Trump presidency. He said it's up to the president to consider the options. He said he did not hear any other Senate Democrat call for Biden to leave the race. It's not a question about politics. It's a moral question about the future of our country. No, you're not worried about the future of the country. At least 20 Democrat lawmakers have stood up to speak during the nearly 2-hour session in what many is an existential moment for the country, considering a second Trump presidency. Yeah, they know that he hit them hard the first time and that he's coming back and he's not taking anything for granted. It's amazing they have this nice, big, long thing about Biden. Just, why don't you drop out? Why don't you drop out? I don't understand. Why won't you drop out? Oh, because it's all campaign. AP is campaigning for Biden. Of course, they use this here as an excuse to say Biden spotlight support for NATO as he looks to use summit to help reset stumbling campaign. Why is this even news? We know that. We know he's going to use NATO as a reason for not dropping out. He's going to say, look at all the wonderful things I'm doing at NATO. We're giving Ukraine money. Isn't that what you guys want? We're going to give Ukraine money. We're going to support Palestine. We're going to do all of this stuff. Oh, it makes your head want to explode. Joe Biden welcomed NATO leaders to Washington on Tuesday by celebrating their unity against Russia's Ukraine aggression. I hadn't even read this yet, and there it is. There it is. Look what we're doing against Ukraine. NATO. Ukraine is not part of NATO. There should be no reason that we're supporting Ukraine whatsoever. Yep, here we go. Doing it again. A message that seemed aimed at bucking up his own wobbly Democrat supporters as much as allies, confronting the prospect of a return to the White House of NATO skeptic Donald Trump. No, he wasn't a skeptic. He was saying that if we're going to be part of this coalition of countries, that they need to pull their own weight. Relying on the United States to do everything for NATO is relying too much on what? On the United States. And it's putting a tax burden on you, Joe Q. Public. Biden has been straining to persuade the U.S. voters and donors that he's ready for re-election. Don't care. Don't care. I don't care who the Democrat nominee is. If they're supporting Ukraine, then I do not support them. If they are going out there and actively pursuing to continue a nonstop war, I do not want to support them. That is my decision. Not saying that anybody else has to follow my decision. That's my decision. I won't support a candidate that sits there and says, "Yeah, we're just going to keep on going. We're just going to keep on sending money. We're going to keep on sending American taxpayer dollars to another country that is clearly in violation of I don't know how many different international laws. Yet we're going to continue doing it." Democrat lawmakers and now an international summit that's now he's still up for running for grinding years, 4 more years grinding in the White House. He hasn't done anything for 3.5. Good. Shizzy will put you to sleep. I mean, that's a 1,000% compliment. How you doing this morning, expert? I'm hoping I put you to sleep. You sexy old man, you. Oh my God. It is insane. This stuff is that we have to listen to we have to listen to another 4 years of Biden, but hey, that's how it goes. You know, it's I don't support war at all, and if people are wanting to support it, then they're welcome to, but they won't be getting my support. Today, NATO is more powerful than ever, 32 nations strong, because they've added some more people that others don't agree with. The summit comes in at a trying moment for Biden's presidency. Several Democrat House members have publicly called on him to quit his campaign. Other lawmakers in private conversations have urged him to step aside, and several high-profile donors have raised concerns. So what does this have to do with NATO? Absolutely nothing. Except that the summit is happening right now. It's amazing that this is what they're going to be talking about. The summit will give Biden his first chance to meet face-to-face with the new British Prime Minister. Biden called Starmer last week to congratulate him on his win and plans to host him Wednesday for talks in the White House. Biden is scheduled to meet with Zelensky again on Thursday. This guy does, for a leader of a country, he spends a hell of a lot of time in the United States. He spends a lot of time begging for money from other countries instead of running his own country. It is a bigger and left the USA, like he said he would if Trump won. Don't you bet Alec Baldwin had left the USA like he said he would if Trump won? You know, that's what I'm hoping. We keep hearing that. We keep hearing that on the left and the right. I'm leaving the country if this person wins. They never do. They never do. There were so many people that said they were going to leave in 2016. Oh, it was all for show. Then there were so many people in 2020 that on this side that were saying, "I want to leave if Biden makes it." Did they leave? No. You just buckle down and do a little bit harder job next time. Biden is scheduled to meet with Ukraine Zelensky on Thursday. Labor Party leader had no concerns about Biden's mental acuity during their phone call, of course. He looks just about as old. Still, they had head of Italy's anti-immigrant. What the hell did I just read? Okay, Labor Party leader had no concerns about Biden's mental acuity during their phone call, according to some spokesman for the prime minister who wanted to be anonymous. Okay. Oh, how many people would be on that call? Sounds like fake bullshit to me. The head of Italy's anti-illegal league, Matt Salvini, offered that Biden's health condition does not seem very good to me. Now, it's amazing that someone from the Labor Party says they have no concerns anonymously. And then you've got someone that outright, the head of another party, is saying, no, doesn't seem good to me. The gathering of the leaders from 32 neighboring countries, plus Pacific partners, Australia, Japan, New Zealand, North Korea, or South Korea, as well as Ukraine. Wait, what? So now they're calling them partners. So Australia, Japan, New Zealand, and South Korea are all partners with NATO? Yeah, why is Turkey in NATO? Things that make you go, It's as expected as one of Biden's last appearances at an international forum before Election Day and comes before next week's Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Milwaukee is going to be, I would say this to people. If they're having a national convention in Milwaukee, that is a going to be a very dangerous place to be. And be prepared for a bunch of craziness leading up to this. Because the baddies, the people that are going to be causing problems, have been slowly trickling in to Milwaukee. It is not going to be a pretty sight. This next week for this Republican National Convention, it is going to be a scary time. I would highly suggest keep your head on a swivel next week. Leading up to it. A second. Whew. Leading up to the convention, keep your head on a swivel. Don't let your guard down for 1 minute. There's going to be some moves coming that I would suggest are going to look really, really, really bad, and they're only going to be exasperated next week. It's going to start later this week, and it'll start going on and on and on and on. And by the time that you have the convention, it's not going to look good. Because this is why they're talking about Biden right now. It's a distraction. That's all it is. Because once Trump names who his vice is going to be, the attacks are going to start on that person, whomever it might be. It's going to start, and it's not going to let up. And it's going to get worse. All I'm saying, pay close attention, keep your head on a swivel, don't be fooled. Keep your eyes focused on the prize. Trump has repeatedly criticized fellow NATO members who failed to meet an agreed upon goal of spending at least 2% of their gross domestic product on defense. And this right here got him a lot of support in NATO. Got a lot of people angry at him because how dare he demand that we spend at least 2% of our gross domestic product on defense. How dare he? The United States is supposed to be defending us. European anxiety was heightened in February when Trump warned NATO allies in a campaign speech that he would encourage the Russians to do whatever the hell they want to countries that don't meet defense spending goals if he returns to the White House. That's not what? That makes no sense. I think they're misinterpreting something. I'll have to look. I'll have to look at that. That seems like a bull squeeze. Trump has criticized Biden for providing an endless flow of American treasure to Ukraine. Yes. The Republican most recently has expressed openness to lending money instead, as he has said Ukraine's independence is as important to the United States. And there you go. We'll lend you the money, but you're going to pay it back at a higher interest rate. Biden aides have pushed back, noting NATO's announcement last month that 23 of 32 member nations are hitting the alliance's defense spending target this year. 9 member nations were meeting the goal when Biden took office from Trump in 2021. Now, of course, Biden has taken credit for expanding NATO. Both Finland and Sweden have joined the aftermath of Russia's February 2022 invasion. Not by accident, White House National Security spokesman John Kirby said that's because of leadership. That's not leadership. NATO is expected to announce details of Ukraine's pathway to membership. They've already said what they want their pathway to membership be. They said they want the war ended. But yet they keep supporting and sending money to them. Why would Ukraine ever want to become a member if they're just getting free money? Then they don't have to spend anything. They just get free crap built around them. Kirby said leaders will also discuss efforts to create a coordination center in Germany to help train, equip, coordinate logistics for Ukraine forces for expected eventual accession into NATO. And Russia already said no. No. It could easily look around Washington this week and see the unity, the resolve, the capabilities. No. Screw NATO and all of their bull squeeze. This is an immense opportunity for him to lead with vigor and energy, but he has no vigor, he has no energy. Don't believe what these bastages are saying. Don't believe what the bastages are saying. What is this right here? Just don't believe it. Okay, recounted a story. I'm not finding it. I'm looking at this. Oh, okay. I see what they're saying. Oh, right. Oh, damn it. All right. Damn it. Sorry. I meant to mute myself. I'm on a different page, so it doesn't always work. It doesn't always work. Good morning, Ingrid. Oh my God. All right. Any suggestion, allies? Okay. This is stupid. I'm having to pull this up because it made no sense to me whatsoever what the AP is saying right here. So he's saying he warned NATO allies that he would encourage Russia to do whatever the hell they want to countries that are delinquent as the front runner for that's okay. Let's put it a little bit more in context. Trump went further, saying that he told a member that he would in fact encourage. He told a member. Saying he had told the member. Trump recounted saying, you didn't pay, you're delinquent. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay your bills. NATO allies agreed in 2014 after Russia annexed Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula to halt the spending cuts they had made after the Cold War and move towards spending 2% of their GDP's defense by 2024. Okay. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said in a statement Sunday that any suggestion that allies will not defend each other undermines all of our security, including that of the U.S. But Ukraine is not an ally. They are not. If you're looking at NATO and being an ally, they are not. Ukraine is not a NATO ally or a member nation of this NATO. Look at the A in NATO. It stands for alliance. They're not part of NATO. No election campaign is an excuse for playing with security of the alliance. Oh, Jesus. Earlier, White House spokesman said Trump's comments by saying that encouraging invasions of our closest allies, but they are not an ally. Ukraine is not an ally. When do people they don't understand this? Trump's remarks come as Ukraine remains mired in its effort to stave off Russia's invasion. In 2022, what happened in 2021? What happened in 2020? What happened in 2019? See, this was something that was building, and Biden completely ignored it. He might now. But wouldn't you? Well, you never know. Trump also called for the end of foreign aid without strings attached. Okay. Does that sound right? Yes. From this point forward, are you listening, U.S. Senate? No money in the form of foreign aid should be given to any country unless it does as a loan, not just a giveaway. How hard is this for people to understand? It's where they launder their money. It's a Democrat ally, not an American one. Morning, people. Good morning, Bush. You are absolutely correct. Trump went on to say the money could be loaned on extraordinarily good terms with no interest and no date for repayment, but he said that if the country we are helping ever turns against us or strikes it rich sometime in the future, the loan will be paid off and the money returned to the United States. Wow, that's a novel. That's pretty damn gracious. During his 2016 campaign, Trump alarmed Western allies by warning that the United States, under his leadership, may abandon its NATO treaty commitments and only come to the defense of countries that meet the alliance's guidelines by committing 2% of their gross domestic product to military spending. This is most important. This is the most important thing that he is saying to you people, that, damn it, we've made these agreements. Why aren't you following up on these agreements? This is absolutely insane that people aren't doing it. Holy cow, Atheist Ant. Oh my gosh. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, brother. Thank you so much. That is
nice.
I love it. Love it. Thank you very much, Atheist Ant. That is very generous of you. I appreciate it. Helps keep the lights on over here at this place, because damn, nothing else does. Hello, Betsy Weingartner. That's beautiful to see you. Bush McFadden, what is that? To be just given to Ukraine. No specifications or stipulations. Yes, that is what we have been doing. We have been giving this money to Ukraine with nothing to show for in return, except now they want to put Ukraine in NATO. They can't afford to be in NATO. NATO has been a success story in the last 75 years. GOP presidential rival Nikki Haley, who was Trump's UN ambassador, faced the nation on Sunday that after the 9/11 attacks, we needed a lot of friends. We can never get onto the point where we don't need friends. Now we do want NATO allies to pull their weight. But here's the thing. It's an incentive Do politicians not understand incentive? 2% of your gross domestic product. How hard is that to secure? And all the countries agreed to this, to secure that everybody's going to come to your defense. You don't want to pay part of it. Eventually, that means that you're not going to be helping to do this. They want countries to do this for themselves. Spend the money. It helps defend you. And then you don't have to worry about us coming to your aid because you've got it in place. God, these people, how hard is this? That's what started the conflict, trying to bring Ukraine in. I know. That's what I've been saying. And they're going to try to bring Ukraine in after, and it's going to be the same damn thing again. They're not going to come to a peaceful resolution because Russia's already said no. No and no and no. You're encroaching upon Russia. You are putting this where you're getting ready to start a damn world war. Whenever you box in a country, because then all they have to do is say, well, we're a border country and we are not going to support Russia moving oil through our country, which could be beneficial to us, but the rest of NATO says we can't do this, so we're not going to do it. They're going to put a stranglehold on Russia, and this is just another way of going for it. But the article isn't saying it. Of course, the article won't say it. It's the AP. Oh, yeah, the Cuban Missile Crisis, except the Dems are the commies now. Yeah. As of 2022, NATO reported that 7 of what are now 31 NATO member countries were meeting the 2% obligation, which means that these other countries need to just go. They should be no longer part of NATO. NATO should not support them whatsoever. They don't want to work for themselves, then we should not be supporting them. And of course, the Nikki that won't go away, darling Nikki. Conway, South Carolina, with 2 weeks to go before South Carolina Republican primary, Nikki Haley is challenging Donald Trump on her home turf, which she already lost. While the former president is turning to his familiar playbook of personal attacks as he tries to quash his last major rival for the nomination. He is not, he's, do you think Trump worries about Haley? One bit. No. Trump turning his campaign focus on the southern state days after an easy victory in Nevada, revved up a huge crowd of supporters on a Saturday rally at Conway near Myrtle Beach. He promoted his time in office, repeated his claims. Now this is yet to be determined. So AP, you gotta report it right. Myrtle Beach promoted his time in office, repeated his claims that the 2020 election he lost was rigged. Saying that the news media is biased against him. Yes. No lies detected there. Talked about Haley, her husband, and Joe Biden. Wow, let's get it right. In his speech, Trump talked about Haley using a nickname for her called Bird Brain. Okay. And he lavished praise on South Carolina, Henry McMaster, who endorsed him early on. Yeah, you support your allies. How hard is this? This isn't a hard thought. Trump claimed that he selected Haley to serve as his ambassador to the United Nations in 2017 and represent America on the world stage because he was motivated to make McMaster her second in command, governor of South Carolina. She did a job. She was fine. She was okay, but I didn't put her there because I wanted her there at the United Nations. I wanted to take your lieutenant governor, who is right here, and make him governor. That is some 3D chess moves right there. Oh, well, that tells you that Nikki is not going to be in Trump's cabinet whatsoever. If that makes you feel any better. Remember when Nikki Haley lost the primary in Colorado to anyone but her? That was just one of them. It was in Colorado. It was in South Carolina. It was just about everywhere that she went. She lost. She was losing to anybody but her. Trump, who has long been the front runner of the GOP race, won 3 states in a row and is looking to use South Carolina's primary to close out Haley's chances to turn his focus fully on an expected rematch with Biden in the general election. Haley skipped the Nevada caucuses, condemning the contest as rigged for Trump. Really? Really, Haley? Oh, and instead focused on South Carolina, kicking off a 2-week bus tour across the state where she could glad hand with everyone, and nobody liked her in South Carolina. Like, even if your own state doesn't like you, damn. Speaking to a couple of hundred people gathered outside a historic opera house in Newberry, Haley on Saturday portrayed Trump as an erratic, self-absorbed figure not focused on the American people. She pointed to the way he flexed his influence over Republican Party, his past week, pressuring GOP lawmakers in Washington to reject bipartisan border security deal, and publicly pressed Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel to consider leaving her job. What is happening? Haley said. On that day, all of his losses, he had his fingerprints all over it. Well, Haley reprised her question of Trump's mental fitness, an attack she has sharpened since January 19th speech in which he repeatedly confused her with former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. No, that was even better 3D chess. Oh my God, was it beautiful. Good morning, T-Rex. Just got done driving, so heading to bed, but stopping by to hit the like and send a remind you lovely people to do the same. Well, thank you very much, T-Rex. I appreciate that. Our country pretty damn well under Orange 45 until the Kung Flu hit the world. Yeah, wasn't it weird how that happened? It's always around that period of time that something weird happens. So whenever we have whenever we hear her wonderful speech confusing her for Nancy Pelosi, you have to just remember one thing. It forced all of the news media to say what the rest of the world has been saying for the whole time, that Nancy Pelosi was in charge of Capitol Police. She was in charge of securing the area, and she didn't. She was given the opportunity. Trump said, whatever you need, we can make this happen. You need more troops, we'll have them here. We'll have them all on standby. They are there for you to use to secure the Capitol during this transition. Oh no, Nancy didn't. And it bit her in the ass. But yet the news media played cover for Nancy. They played cover and continue to play cover for the past 3.5 years. Until, well, over 3 years. It wasn't quite 3.5, because we're about 3.5 year mark right now with Biden being a complete dildo in the White House, or dildo in chief, I guess we could call him. So whenever he said that, it forced the media to say, no, Nancy was in charge of it. How dare you think Nikki Haley was? Wow. 3D chess on the news media. And this is how you have to treat them. Don't care about Bob. If you don't support Trump, well, he's a maniac. He's a maniac. Frequently of retribution and his personal grievances. It's turned into a personal vendetta. What do you think has been happening over the past 3.5 years? They've been going after Trump. And just as soon as Trump said he was going to run, the attacks even got graver. There's a reason why they've gone after him in multiple courts. We need to encourage friendships and not discourage them, he said of international relations. We have been encouraging them. The Democrats want to go to war, and Trump has said that's not how you do things. Trump, in his remarks to social media post on Saturday, criticized foreign aid generally, and a plan in Congress to provide nearly $100 billion in Ukraine aid. No, it's over $100 billion right now that's going to Ukraine. And the money flow keeps on coming from the United States. It's like they have opened up the spigot, and that's more the left can't meme stuff. Yeah. Oh my God. And in one very personal attack, Trump repeatedly questioned why Haley's husband, who is deployed on a year-long stint in Africa with the South Carolina National Guard, hasn't been on the campaign trail. Trump, whose own wife has not joined him in the campaign, asked what happened to her husband. Where is he? He's gone. He knew. That's pretty funny. I love that. That's pretty funny. You realize he's joking, right? Sarcasm, people. He wrapped up at times apocalyptic vision of the country, listing ills from dirty, crowded airports to looming nuclear war. And if he loses the election, predicting the stock market would likely crash like it did in 1929, touching off another Great Depression. He referred to his supporters who were prosecuted for their roles in January 6th at the U.S. Capitol as hostages, who have been unfairly imprisoned for long periods of time. See, this is a very, very big deal. Whenever they talk about this, you notice that they say the January 6, 2021 insurrection. Yet, nobody has been charged with insurrection. And the charges that they've brought against people for insurrection have been dropped. Not a single person has been arrested, tried for an insurrection. Show me the one person, and I'll eat my words, that has been convicted of insurrection. One person. Nope, not there. In Conway, people began lining up to see Trump hours before the doors opened on the arena when he was set to take the stage later. Organizers set up the outside screens for an overflow crowd to watch. Tim Carter in nearby Murrells Inlet said he backed Trump since 2016 and would do so again this year. We're here to stand for Trump, get our economy better, shut our border down, more jobs for our people. Cheryl Savage from Conway, who is waiting on the bleachers to hear from Trump, said the former president is here to help us. Savage said she backed Haley during her first run for governor in 2010, but now feels she's hurting herself by staying in the race. Well, Savage, I don't care what you think. He did it. You're thinking he deserves a second term? No, he doesn't deserve shit. He has to work just as hard as he did on his first term. If he puts in the effort, he'll get the support. That's all it takes. And of course, more about the Trump train here. Trump revels in Democrat turmoil as he returns to campaign trail and teases a pick for VP again, because that's what he does. He was golfing in plane, blah, blah, blah. Rally supporters at one of his Miami Arena golf courses. Okay. He appears in No Rush. Okay. Dismal debate performance last month. Yeah. They don't tell you that last month wasn't very far away. We're only 10 days into this month. It hasn't been an entire month. Just they should say weeks ago. That's what they should say. Just a few weeks ago, whenever Biden's performance showed how bad it was for the past. Keep wanting you to censor criticism of. Why does YouTube keep wanting me to censor criticism of Democrat politicians in chat? I've noticed in the past few days. Oh, Don't know. I don't know. Well, this is the shenanigans of YouTube. I'm used to it. I am absolutely used to it. Any criticism of Democrats is going to get you in trouble. I mean, here's a thing. Even the AI is so full of garbage. Because you don't know this, but in StreamYard, they have an AI. If you're under a certain amount of time for your thing, you can pull out little sections, which I did during the debate, and the sections it pulled out were, all of them were trying to make Biden look good, and it was horrible takes that he had. It would put in there, Biden says this, and this. I was like, yeah, it seems to me like StreamYard's AI must be written by somebody, because AI, if this AI is doing this, they're doing a crappy job of it, because the things that they were pulling out and the things that they were saying about it they were almost on T as being for Biden. I had to pull it up. It's hilarious. I was like, I don't think AI is doing this. I really don't. I think it's full of crap. Keeps holding these comments for me as a mod to review. Here's a hint. They all are getting approved. Damn right, they should be getting approved. Our victory was absolute that Joe's own party now wants him to throw in the towel and surrender the presidency after a single 90-minute performance. Oh, Trump said Tuesday night. They want Joe out of the race. It's a shame the way they're treating him, but don't feel sorry for him. He's a very bad guy. James Singer, spokesperson for Biden campaign, responded to Trump with a series of challenges, saying in a statement, "We challenged Donald Trump to create jobs, but he lost 3 million. Really? And why was it that he lost 3 million? Was it because of someone named Fauci lied to the American people? Yeah. Wasn't it because he had people that he trusted to give him good, honest, and truthful opinions lied to him? Is it because that he had people inside of him, his organization, inside of his administration, that were absolute garbage human beings, that have been shown to be garbage human beings and continue to be garbage human beings after he left? Yeah, he had too many people that he relied on, and that's why he's going, next time around, I'm getting rid of this. This is going to go away. We challenged Donald Trump to create jobs, which he did. He also brought the economy up to a beautiful place. Remember the price of gas before he took office? Remember the price of gas after he took office? Yeah, it had very little change. Started going down. Started setting up Keystone Pipeline, which got shut down. Keystone Pipeline's done. It's over with. That flow of funds, the flow of oil stopped. Everybody wants to go green. All right, we'll find out what happens. Singer also said Joe Biden doesn't have time for Donald Trump's weird antics. He's busy leading America and defending the free world. No, he hasn't. He hasn't been doing shit for the past 3 years. Trump laced into Harris with more specifics than usual. She's become a focus of the former president's allies as speculation has mounted that she would replace Biden as the nominee. Trump called her laughing camel toe and referred to the Biden-Harris administration rather than just pinning actions on Biden as he had for months. He blamed Harris for the White House immigration policies. Yes, because she was the immigration czar. Do we forget so soon? Despite all the Democrat panic this week, the truth is it doesn't matter who they nominate because we're going to beat any one of them in thundering landslides, and this November is going to be amazing, so said Trump. Trump, ever the showman, repeatedly played into the speculation that he might elevate Rubio to his ticket. Why does the AP do this? He has not told anybody who he's going to. Trump marveled at the number of reporters in attendance and said, I think they probably think I want to be announcing that Marco is going to be vice president. Later, when he talked about his pledge to make tips tax-free, he remarked that Rubio may or may not be there to vote for it. Rubio, the son of Cuban immigrants, is seen as a potential running mate. Don't care. The senator did not openly acknowledge, no, because he has not said he has not told anybody who is going to be the next president. Yeah. It's 1000% bias, and YouTube has absolutely no shame about being headquarters in a free speech nation. Yeah, very true. He notably seemed to insert himself into Trump's signature "Make America Great Again" slogan by saying, "Together, we're not just going to make it great again. We elect this man as president. We will make America greater than it has ever been." Well, he had done great work. Don't care about the "you're fired." I've been a lot more to say. Don't care. And so it is Biden 81. Trump 78, or at least 2 decades older than most American presidents have been, according to the Research Center. Don't care about the Pew Research Center, which has said the median age for all don't care. That has not stopped Trump from arguing he is stronger than Biden, who repeatedly stumbled, paused, could not complete sentences, and just went completely blank for the past 3.5 years. Trump was criticized by the Democrats for making false statements during the debate. No, he didn't. In the U.S. Capitol, no, he didn't. And suggesting illegals entering the U.S. were taking so-called jobs. But see, they put it down as black jobs and Hispanic jobs. No, he said they are taking away jobs from people that are here legally. He is pointing out the left's hypocrisy, because the left is saying, the illegals aren't taking any jobs. Yeah, they are. And he pointed it out right here, here, and here. This is where they're taking jobs away from American citizens. This is where they're making it difficult for American citizens to get jobs. People, just because you're Hispanic, now you get looked upon as being illegal. And well, you're not. Just because you're Hispanic does not mean you're here illegally. But if you're here illegally, you might just be Chinese, Hispanic, Russian, Iranian, Turkish. You could be from any number of countries. And of course, we've got these wonderful, wonderful, wonderful letters President Biden sent to his House Democrats telling them support him in his reelection. Oh my. Well, let's just read the letter. This is funny. Oh my God. And if you think that Biden wrote this, yeah, I doubt it. Fellow Democrats, now that you've returned from the July 4th recess, why is this the 10th? And now they're saying something. I want you to know, all the speculation in the press and elsewhere, I'm firmly committed to staying in this race. But, you know, he never made this speech. Remember, this is a letter that he wrote. Oh. You know what I'm going to do? I need some more coffee before I get into this. I need to get a little bit of coffee because this is going to get good. This letter is freaking hilarious. And then after I read this letter, I've got something new that I've been working on. I want to show you guys. It'll be good. Be good, I promise. So just bear with me for just a short bit. Here we go. Everybody, go grab some coffee. Very quickly, grab your coffee. Grab it.
Morning sun, it's a brand new day. Gotta shake a sleep. Gotta find my way to the kitchen where the coffee's hot. Take a little break. Give it all I got. Rise and brew, yeah, rise and brew. Wanna get my cup and start anew. Rise and brew, yeah, rise and brew. Take a little break is what I gotta do. Stepping out of bed, feel the reggae beat. Shuffle to the kitchen. every funky beat. Whiz is ready to take on any feat. Whiz, get ready to take on any feat. Whiz and groove, get rise and groove. Gonna get my cup and start anew. Rise and groove, get rise and groove. Take a little break is what I gotta do. Whiz and coffee, sweet harmony.
My balls are tingling.
Damn right. One of my favorite. That kid is hilarious. Oh, speaking of hilarious kids, more from Joe Biden here. Now, and I'll point this out. There's a reason why Biden didn't do this in a speech without a teleprompter. The reason he couldn't say this without a teleprompter is because these aren't his words. Okay. And I'm serious when, oh man, I hope I'm not losing power today. Well, it's trying to lose power. It's crazy. Getting little power surges. That means that they're working on the electrical lines. Gotta love it. Good thing is I don't have to worry about it because I've got battery backup. So I've got at least a good 21 minutes before my power completely goes out. No, here's the thing. If you go back and you watch after the debate, he went and showed up at some little convention rally thing, and very little speaking. He never mentioned any of this stuff here. And then of course he had to have Jill Biden speaking for him, saying he's not leaving. He's not leaving. He is staying in power. He is staying in power. This is like elder abuse. It's like they're propping this guy up. And all this letter is written. Just imagine that this letter is written by AOC. Because that's about as easy as it could be. This could be written by Janine, whatever her name is, LaPierre Pontiff, Pontius Pilate, or whatever her name is, that, is his press secretary. Easily could have been written by anyone in that administration. So if you think these are words of Biden, you're wrong. They're not. But this supposedly is his letter to Democrats. He's had extensive conversations with the leadership of the party. Elected officials, rank and file members, or the rank and file members wrote this for me. Democrat voters over the past 10 days or so. Okay, so this would have been before, if he's saying the past 10 days or so, because this letter was sent, on the 8th? So this would have been before he went and got on stage. I have heard the concerns that people have. No, they've had concerns for the past 5 years over your mental acuity. I have heard the concerns that people have, their good faith fears and worries about what is at stake in this election. Oh, his administration's not blind to them. They know better than anyone the responsibility and burdens of the nominee of our party carries. People carried my water in 2020 when the fate of our nation was at stake. I know that these concerns come from a place of real respect for my life and my record. I have been moved multiple times in my pants, usually about 9 o'clock in the morning, by the expressions of affection for me from so many who have known me well, supported me over my course of, world domination. He's been grateful for the rocks. They're solid. His steadfast support, so many elected Democrats in Congress. Oh, it sounds to me like the elected Democrats wrote this. That all across the country, that he does not give two craps about. He's taken great strength in the resolve and determination he's seen from so many voters and grassroots supporters, even in the hardest of weeks, which is just about every damn day for him. He can respond to all this by saying clearly and unequivocally He wouldn't be running again if he did not absolutely believe he was the best person to beat Donald Trump. So he's had a Democrat nomination process, and the voters have spoken clearly and decisively. He received, as he says, over 14 million votes, which is about 5 million votes less than he received for his election. 87% of the votes cast across the entire nominating process. He has nearly 3,900 delegates, making him the presumptive nominee of his party by a wide margin. Because they're carrying your water. Because they know that if Trump attacks you, that it makes him look bad, looks like he's abusing you, when in truth is that he never even attacked Biden on stage. All he did was let Trump go, let Biden go, let him talk and ramble on. And then all Trump did was finish his sentences for him. He was kind, he was courteous, let him finish, and just basically handed his ass to him on a silver platter and said, "Here you go, sir. You suck. And this is why you suck. And this is how you suck." And that's what he gave to him throughout the entire debate. And Biden looked confused throughout the entire debate. So whenever they say that he's doing great work and he's very cognizant of what's going on, I don't picture him writing this letter whatsoever. Not even in his clearest moments is he able to be this cognizant of what the hell is going on. Only 3 people chose to challenge him. No, they didn't. One fared so badly that he left the primaries to run as an independent. Oh, so there he's basically slapping at, what's up, Sean Bird? Good to see you. He's basically slapping at Kennedy. The voters of the Democrat Party have voted. They have chosen you to be the nominee of a party. Do we now just say this process didn't matter? What voters did, that the voters didn't have a say? No, they didn't. The voters didn't have a say. He declines to do that. He feels deep obligation to the faith and the trust the voters of the Democrat Party have placed onto him to run this year. He can't even run like 30 feet without looking like a complete doofus. It was their decision to make, not the press. No, the press did this. The pundits did this, and the big donors. It was a select group of individuals that promoted and pushed him there. No matter how well-intentioned the voters and the voters alone, no, they don't. No, they don't. How can we stand for democracy in our nation? We don't. We don't stand for democracy. Democracy is mob rule. He cannot do that. He will not do it. I have no doubt that I and we can and will beat Trump. We have a historic record of success to run on. From creating, no, he didn't create any jobs. Biden's history shows he did not create any jobs whatsoever. The jobs were there. Those were people during the coup that lost their jobs. Because we had a government under your command that shut down anybody trying to work. You shut them down. Jeez. Including just 200,000 last month, reaching historic lows on unemployment. No, you haven't. On reporting of unemployment, because unemployment numbers are fixed, and you've changed the way that those are reported. So don't believe a single word that this whole thing that they're talking about is bull squeeze. It's all bull squeeze. Affordable health care, bull squeeze. Rebuilding America's roads and bridges, bull squeeze. Ports and airports, bull squeeze. Water systems, bull squeeze. beating Big Pharma? No, you haven't. You haven't done anything against Big Pharma. You did not lower the cost of prescription drugs. Lowered it after you raised the price exponentially. $35 a month insulin for seniors. How does that help seniors? Only seniors? That's it? Okay, what about the fact that under Trump he had already put in place that they were not going to be able to raise prices on. And that had, it had nothing to do with the American government except for saying, no, you're not going to play that crap to our people. Providing student debt relief, which just cost America even more. You've shut down gas pipelines. You've shut down our economy to the point where people are getting really frustrated at paying, anywhere between $4 to $7 a gallon in gas. I think in California, it's up to like $8 a gallon. Do you think the American people are happy with that? I don't think so. You haven't done anything, but oh no, you say you're combating climate change. How? Tell me how you're combating climate change. No, think about this. Beryl just came through Texas, knocked out people with power. I'll get to that in a minute. More importantly, we have an economic vision to run soundly to beat Trump and the Republicans. They're siding with the wealthy, big corporations. We're siding with the working people of America. It wasn't an isolated moment for Trump to stand at Mar-a-Lago and tell the oil industry they should give him $1 billion and he will do whatever they want. That's not what he said. He said that if we were going to drill, we are going to increase our economy. We are going to make our economy strong again. We are not going to weaken our economy because people want to work. Those who side with Trump, MAGA Republicans are on. Trump and MAGA Republicans want another $5 trillion in tax cuts. Yeah. No, they don't want to cut Social Security and Medicare. They want to make sure that you, Democrats, want to make sure that you keep your hands away from that money. They want to take they want to take the government's power away. Government does not want to give up that power. That is free money that they just dip their hands into anytime they want. We will never let that happen. See, this whole trickle-down economics was created by Democrats. The left created this theory of trickle-down economics. The right embraced it and said, yes. Trickle-down economics wasn't a thing until Democrats started calling it, oh, and you think that the wealthy are going to create jobs for people? Well, that's trickle-down economics. It doesn't work. That is what the left said. And the right said, hey, that's not a bad idea. That actually does work. Because I've yet to meet a single person that is not a business owner to run a business. It really works out pretty well. And they generally have more at stake because they are the ones that create the jobs. I don't see too many homeless people creating jobs. So yes, trickle-down economics do work. We know the way to build the economy is from the middle out and the bottom up. No, that does not work. The bottom does not build things. We are finally going to make the rich and big corporations pay fair share of taxes. Well, what's fair share? Because if we took all of the money, and I'm saying all of the money from every single billionaire, trillionaire, gazillionaire across the entire planet, we still would not even make a dent in our deficit. It would not even dent it. I'm talking about all of their money. It would not even dent our deficit. We are finally going to make the rich pay and the big corporations pay. They don't. They pass that on to the middle class and the poor. How do they do that? Well, geez, run a business and then you'll begin to understand how they do that. We do need rain, though. Some of us were wishing that it would have come a little further north than it did. Well, that's true. Biden has been taking part in writing the tax codes for over 50 years. Yep. This is the Republican Party is still determined to repeal the Affordable Care Act. Yes. Which is just gold for it is money maker for the Democrat Party and for the rhinos. We will never let that happen. Of course you won't. Trump got rich denying rental housing to black people. What? No, that is not it. This right here, whenever somebody says this, I would sue for defamation. I would sue for defamation because that right there is an absolute lie. He got rich by denying rental housing to people. Just because some blacks might have been there, there would have been whites, there would have been Hispanic, there would have been Chinese, there would have been white Americans. It would have been every single person. They have a plan to build 2 million new housing units in America. Where are they going to build them? And how are they going to afford this? 2 million housing units. How are they going to afford this? Are they going to use money coming from BlackRock that's been buying up property? Is that where they're going to get where are they going to get the property? Are they going to build it on national parks? Government shouldn't be owning that land. But yet they've taken it over. So where are they going to build them? How are they going to afford to be able to build them? Because to get the material there, it's going to require that you have means, which transportation is one of them, but it's going to be costing too much because fuel prices are so expensive. Plus, then you have to have the labor to build the damn houses. And whenever you've got a minimum wage at $15 an hour, you're going to have to pay skilled workers to build this because you're not going to be able to get a minimum wage worker that has any skill whatsoever. You don't just give a 15-year-old a hammer and say, build a house. You got to have a skilled worker. Skilled workers get paid. Skilled workers want their money. Jesus Christ. These people are so stupid that it's all just blowing air up your ass. They want to take away their insulin. No, they don't. And they want to take, as well as the $2,000 cap on out-of-pocket prescription costs, we just got them. You screwed them over so much that they think that Trump and Republicans want to hit them with a new $2,500 national sales tax on imported products they buy. No, that is not what they want to put tariffs on Chinese goods. That currently China already is putting tariffs on American goods going into China, but they're not reciprocating. America is not reciprocating on that. We are the ones lowering costs for families. No, you're not. From healthcare, no, you're not. From prescription drugs to student debt to housing, no, they're not. That is not lowering the cost to families. That is increasing the cost to families. That is increasing the cost to our populace. We are the ones protecting Social Security. No, you're not. Everything they're proposing raises costs for most Americans. No, they're not. You've already jacked up the prices. Inflation is running rampant, and this is under your watch, Biden. You're not protecting any freedoms for America. You're taking them away. We have been already, for the first time in history, taken away a fundamental freedom from the American people by overturning Roe v. Wade. No, they did not. That is not a freedom. That is not a right. To kill people is not a right. Killing American people is not a right. Roe v. Wade was bad law. Has been, always will be. Send it back to the states. States, you can make your own damn decisions. They don't like that because it took away their power. And it's not coming back. As much as they want to, it's not coming back. The American people are not going to let that happen. I would hope. They've decided politicians should make the most personal of decisions. Jesus Christ. This is exactly what Democrats are doing. They want to take away your ability to make a decision for yourself. And they've been doing that. Because whenever the federal government makes that decision for you, that they tell you that this is healthcare, killing children is a healthcare. Wow. They're going after everything from contraception to IVF to the right to marry who you love. See, like I said, Biden didn't write this. This is somebody in his administration that is all about taking your children away from you. And if they can't take them away from you before they're born, they're going to take them away from you afterwards. They're going to tell you, no, it's okay. It's okay if you love Billy, Bob, whatever your name is. It's okay if you love Billy. That should be perfectly normal. Yes, chop off your junk and change your name to Barbara. It's okay. This is normal. You notice that general or whatever of the Coast Guard, whoever that person is, that they haven't been making their faces shown. You know who I'm talking about, the little rear admiral, whatever his name is. You know, the little cross-dresser there. Yeah, you notice they haven't been showing their face around. Wonder why? Why haven't they been showing their face? Why hasn't Miley been around? Why isn't and I forget what that rear admiral was. Yeah. Why have they not been around? They made it clear that they will ban. No, they have not. This is another lie. They have not made it clear that they will ban abortion nationwide. They made it clear that if Camel Toe and him are reelected, the nation elects a Democrat House and Senate, we will make Roe v. Wade the law of the land again. So you would circumvent the Supreme Court. They're saying they're the ones that will bring real support Supreme Court reform. That right there would go against our Constitution. That right there would be considered an insurrection. That right there would be considered treason. But yet the Democrats don't understand any of that. The chance to add a right-wing majority they built by subverting the norms and principles of the nomination and confirmation process. How's that? Sounds to me like they're looking to stack the Supreme Court. Which leads to nowhere good. And they're telling you their plans already right here in the next phrase. We are standing up for American democracy. Again, we are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic because a democracy is mob rule. So absolutely, they're correct. They're standing for American mob rule. After January 6th, okay, of what year? Trump has proven that he is unfit to ever hold office of president. We can never allow him anywhere near that office again and never will. After January 6th, what year? January 6th last year? January 6th the year before? Why don't you just talk about that particular date? Why don't you talk about what happened on that particular day? That you had Capitol Police that were allowing Americans in. And then turned around and called it an insurrection, which nobody's ever been arrested for. Your fellow Democrats, we have a record, the vision, the fundamental commitment to American freedoms, and let our mob rule to win. There you go. I'm just going to stop calling it democracy. Every time I see democracy or Democrat, it's just going to be mob rule. I'm done with their bullshit. The question of how to move forward has been well aired for over a week now, and it's time for it to end. We have one job, and it is to beat Donald Trump. Ignore the man behind the curtains. We have 42 days until the mob rule convention and 119 days to the general election. Any weakening or resolve or lack of clarity about the task ahead only helps Trump and hurts us. It's time we come together right now over me, move forward as a unified party and defeat Trump. Now, he signed his name on there. That doesn't look like his normal signature. It looks stamped. And so he approved this message. Yeah, that was his letter saying, "Oh, don't mind me. Don't mind me at all. There's nothing happening here." And in the meantime, while they're talking about how horrible that we're doing here, China's landfills brim with textile waste as fashion reigns and recycling takes a back seat. Yet they want us to avoid it. Looks like recycling to me. Looks like they're just chopping it all up into little bits, recycling back all of the clothes and sending them back out to people again. Right? So it's all about fashion. Don't care. But you have to remember that survey shows Chinese economy growing but at a modest pace. Well, you know what? I don't read surveys, so I'm not going to read your news story because it doesn't matter to me. But here you go. This is all about climate change now because tourists still flock to Death Valley amid searing U.S. heat wave blamed for several deaths. Okay. And cold does it too. Cold will kill you. Heat will kill you. That's why you need to be out there drinking water. But you know what? You don't have to go to Death Valley. You can go to Michigan if you want to get heat stroke. You can get heat stroke in the middle of winter. It was excited to be going on this hot. They're from Tupelo, Mississippi. Tupelo, Mississippi is not a cool place either. Wanted to stop at Death Valley as a place boasting the lowest elevation in the U.S. on its way to climb California's Mount Whitney. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, kind of like walking on Mars. Searing heat wave gripping large parts of the U.S. Led to a record daily high temperature in Oregon, where it's suspected to have caused 6 deaths. The state's medical examiner office said Tuesday more than 161 million people around the U.S. were under heat alerts, especially in western states. Okay. So what did we do 50 years ago? What did we do 100 years ago with extreme heat? Well, we just stayed away from those places that were hot from heat issues last night at the fair. Well, see, isn't it amazing? There's ways to cool off. There has been for the past, I don't know. How long has the world been existing? Yeah. It's fluff and awful. It says Death Valley tourists queued for photos in front of the giant thermometer at the National Park Service keeps near a visitor center. It's not precise. Registering the temperature anywhere from 1 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit higher than more modern instruments kept by the National Weather Service nearby, providing a more impressive reading for pictures. It's not cited to be an official temperature sensor. It's an incredibly popular place to be and is a tourist trap. That's all it is. Excessive heat warnings were also in place for much of Washington and Oregon on Tuesday, with the potential for temperatures to reach up to 110 degrees. Okay, it's not uncommon. Here's the thing. If you're worried about getting overexerted and too much heat, well, there's something you can do. Lower your body fat, and guess what? You don't have all that insulation. But people have gotten much fatter. Maybe that is why people are getting overheated and tend to be popping off. Also, look at the age of the people that happen to be deceasing. You suffer from heat stroke? Yeah. Ever since you just keep myself cool by not going where it's hot. It's an amazing thought, isn't it? It really is an amazing thought. The early U.S. heat wave came as global temperature in June was a record warm for the 13th straight month. Global temperature in June. So this is an average. Other places it was probably cooler than average also. But overall, it was a world record. It was 1.5 degrees hotter, or 2.7 degrees hotter. Really? 2.7 degrees hotter. Huh. Well, I will say 2.7 degrees hotter is something I would be concerned with if I was running a fever. But you know what the body temperature runs at? Yeah, it hasn't changed ever. You've gone from 319 down to 309. Yeah. Losing weight is going to be one big thing that will help anybody that is worried about being out in the heat. Go out, get some exercise. And you know, the amazing thing is you can do this while it's even hot outside. Even on the hottest of days, you can go outside and exercise. You just have to make sure that you keep hydrated. Keep your body temperature down. And you can continue to do everything that you would normally do. Exercise is good for you. In Eastern California's sizzling desert, a record high of 128 degrees was recorded over the weekend at Death Valley National Park. Doesn't matter. I've been in on the outskirts of El Paso doing military maneuvers whenever I could take a thermometer, one of the thermometers we had for a generator, stick it in the sand, and it was reading somewhere around 158 degrees in the sand. Yeah. Surface air temperature, and this would have been what, 1980, 1989? Yeah, it would have been somewhere in 89. Yeah, we were running it somewhere around 118 degrees outside in the desert. Yeah, try doing that on 48 hours. I think I hit somewhere around 56 hours of no sleep on a constant move. Got to the point where I ended up getting a heat stroke. Beautiful, huh? We also had a guy disappear that weekend. There were motorcyclists riding through the Badwater Basin area in scorching weather. Amazing that they were able to do it. The other 4 were treated at the scene. Emergency medical helicopters were unable to respond because aircraft cannot generally safely fly over 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Death Valley is considered one of the most extreme environments in the world. The hottest temperature ever officially recorded on Earth was 134 degrees in July of 1913. So that was in 1913. That was over 100 years ago. Wow. So I wonder what? But they're saying the real record was 130. That was recorded in 2021. Doubt it. It's impressive, said Basil in Switzerland. It's a very dry heat. It's not as easy in Europe. Dude showed up in a fur coat. Stop! Extreme heat danger. Walking after 10 a.m. is not recommended. In a fur jacket, displaying 131 degrees. Stop signs warn tourists of extreme heat in Badwater Basin, Death Valley National Park. Across the desert, Nevada, Las Vegas had already hit 103. Oh, intense heat wave will continue to set records through the end of the week. Oh, drink water, stay wet, stay moisturized. Be surprised how well it does. Speaking of extreme heat, we've got this little news story right here. Houston residents left sweltering after barrel with over 1.7 million still lacking in power. How will we ever survive? How did we survive without power 100 years ago? How did those poor families ever survive working the fields over 100 years ago in extreme heat. How did they do it? How did they survive? Houston, the return of searing heat to Houston area has deepened the misery for people still living without power. Well, there's ways. Keep your body cool. Keep hydrated. More than 1.7 million homes and businesses still lacked electricity Tuesday night, down from a peak of over 2.7 million on Monday. Frustration mounted. State officials face questions over whether their power utility that covers much of the area had sufficiently prepared. Oh, but if we would have had solar panels, we would have taken care of this easily. Yes, but solar panels require that you have batteries. Batteries are made in China using the materials dug out on the backs of small children digging in cobalt mines, working in lithium mines. And those batteries get transported to the United States. And we don't, and we pay tariffs on every single bit of that product that comes into the United States. Yeah, because we're not charging China on those tariffs that are coming in for their product. It still keeps rolling in, rolling. Guess what? You have a storm, it knocks out those solar panels. Guess what? If you're not on the power grid, well, nearly 36 hours after Beryl made landfall, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said that a sports and event complex would be used as temporarily to hold up to 250 hospital patients who are awaiting discharge but cannot be released to homes with no power. So basically, they just fire up big generators, and guess what those big generators run off of? They run off of diesel. Guess what? It costs money to get that diesel to the generators, and then they just run 24/7, keeping the AC, keeping the area nice and cool. Just erect more nuclear power plants. Would love to. Only thing is as soon as you start erecting nuclear power plants, then you're going to have people come back and remind you of Nagasaki and Hiroshima and all this kind of crap and say, oh, nuclear power, it's so horrible. Yeah. If you wanted clean energy, there you go. Nuclear power is going to be your cleanest energy. We can handle it, but not the kids. Walter Perez said as he arrived at a celebrity pastor Joel Osteen's megachurch in Houston, which served as a cooling center and distributed 40 bottle packs of water. Perez and his wife, 3-year-old son, 3-year-old daughter, and his father-in-law retreated from their apartment at night. He described it as bad. Yes, you're living in an apartment. See, this is the problem. If you're living in a big city, you are relying on that big city's infrastructure to keep you cool, to keep you hydrated, to keep you fed. Yet, you're relying on all the rural people to take care of you. And yet, whenever you want to give those rural people an opportunity to vote, you want to take that away from them by destroying the Electoral College. And screw Houston, they can kiss my ass for all I care. Houston has turned into just like New California. They're bringing in their crappy policies and they're going to bitch and moan about it. Executive for CenterPoint Energy, which covers much of the Houston area, defended the utility's preparation and response. From his perspective, you have a storm pass at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, have those crews come in the late evening, and have everything ready by 5 a.m. to go out and get out and start the workforce is rather impressive because we're talking about thousands of crews. Highs in the Houston area on Tuesday climbed back in the 90s. No big thing that happened here. With humidity that made it feel even hotter. Similar heat and humidity was expected Wednesday. National Weather Service described the conditions as potentially dangerous given the lack of power and air conditioning. What did we ever do before air conditioning? No idea. Beryl, which made landfall early Monday as Category 1 hurricane, has been blamed for at least 7 deaths, 1 in Louisiana, 6 in Texas, and at least 11 in the Caribbean. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty minimal. Patrons on Tuesday lined up 1 block to eat at KFC, Jack in the Box, or Denny's. They took a disabled neighbor who didn't have power to Denny's for some food. That's nice of them. I love hearing stories like that. He complained that the city and state officials did not alert residents well enough to a storm initially projected to land much further down the coast. Sweetheart, yes, they did. I'm in Georgia, and I knew that it was going to be hitting the Texas coast. Where exactly it was going to be hitting, don't know. But yeah, we were well aware of this days in advance. That you didn't pay attention is your fault. Sorry. That you weren't paying attention is your fault. Like we all knew whenever every single hurricane is very slow moving. They don't just, it's not like a tornado. They don't just come popping up out of nowhere. You're given plenty of warning. You just chose to ignore it and go on with life as normal. Be prepared, be aware, stay safe. And especially around oceans, be safe. What to know about water safety before heading to the beach or pool this summer. Don't pee in the pool. With school out for summer and temperatures rising across the country, many families are going to go to the beach where it's going to be even hotter. Lake or local swimming pool where it's going to be even hotter. Now is the time to review safety tips to keep children safe around the water. Drowning is the leading cause of death from children's ages 1 to 4. No, I thought it was something else. I didn't think it was drowning. Didn't they say that cancer was number one killer? Or is it alcohol? Or is it drugs? I don't know. They keep changing it, whatever they want the narrative to be. I thought that the number one leading cause of death for children, well, they say 1 to 4, but what about the ones before that? It would be, our Supreme Court v. Wade. For children, ages 1 to 4, and the leading second cause of unintentional death for children 5 to the 14 age group, according to Center for Disease. I don't trust anything that they say because their narrative changes with whatever propaganda they're trying to pump out. Wait, it was handguns. That's what it was. It was firearms that they said was the leading cause of death. So which is it? So wait, last month, whatever, the leading cause was firearms for children. I'm confused. Palm Beach County Ocean Rescue lifeguard Daniel Barnacle said, and there always should be an adult monitoring the water. As a whole, never swim alone. If you have a backyard pool, the most likely important safety feature of a backyard swimming pool is a barrier, such as a safety fence to prevent unsupervised access to the water. Many children who drown at home can drown in less than a foot of water. It doesn't take much to drown. He said it's vital to make sure children learn to swim. There's so many programs that teach children to swim, but just being a good swimmer does not mean you can't drown. If a child goes missing, remember that seconds count. Check the water first. Safety experts advise. Skills children should learn to prevent drowning. Keep your head above water. Keep your head above water. You don't have to worry about that. They should also be able to quickly turn around in the water and find a safe place. Combine breathing with moving forward in the water to get out of the water. Create a safe environment. More water safety tips. Always swim with a buddy. Or in an area unsupervised by a lifeguard, make sure you don't overestimate your abilities and know your limits. Swimming in open water such as ocean or lake is much different than backyard swimming pool, but you can still drown in it. You can still drown in a kiddie pool. After year after year in South Florida, rip currents claim more lives than every other weather-related hazard combined. We've seen locals come here and have been going to the beach their whole life, and they've never been caught in a rip current, or they think that they have, and they know what to do, and they get pulled out into a rip current. We'll go out to them and they say, I can't believe that happened. Yeah. If you've never been in a rip current, it's pretty easy to get out of it. I mean, It'll surprise you whenever it first happens, but it'll pull you out and then you swim sideways away from it. You don't swim back into it. That would be stupid. That's just like self-defeating. I mean, again, you have to learn to swim before you can even do that. It is so crazy. And of course, we've got this right here. Post falsely blame Ukraine for a strike on Kiev, because we're at that point where we talk about the idiocy of the left again, because they've got to do their fact checking because someone posted on X disinformation, a lie. It was horrible. I can guarantee you that's what this is. They're gonna be bitching about X, saying there's misinformation on X and you got to be careful of the misinformations. Let me guess. The claim there was that Ukraine is responsible for a missile strike that hit a children's hospital in Kiev. Well, it's false. Ukraine's security service wrote in a statement on Telegram that it found wreckage from a KH-101 cruise missile at the hospital and has opened proceedings on war crime charges. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Ukraine does carry those same missiles. The Russian Defense Ministry claimed without evidence in a Telegram post that images from Kiev shows the damage was caused by a Ukrainian air defense missile as supposed proof of Ukraine's responsibility. Social media users shared old photos claiming that they showed shrapnel from such missiles that was found at the hospital following Monday's attack. After Ukraine's largest children's hospital was struck as part of a daytime barrage that saw dozens of Russian missiles target 5 Ukrainian cities, those circulated social media falsely claiming that Ukraine was at fault for the hit. Ukraine blew up their own children's hospital in Kiev. Let me see where. Oh, there it is. There it is. Told you. Reads one X post. One X post, and they're claiming that everything that comes off of X is disinformation. It's a lie. Oh, there's another one. Oh, had 5,500 times. I am so sick of AP. Your fact checker, Melissa Golden. Why don't you find something better to do? Sounds to me like she's grasping at straws because we've already called out AP on their lies. Why don't you fact check AP's news abilities, Melissa? Give it a try. It's wonderful. You want to talk about misinformation and disinformation? There you go. That's all you need to do. That is all that you need to do. Fact check your own people. Oh my gosh. So here's where it becomes the chaos and horror as Kyiv hospital as the city is hit with the heaviest bombardment in months. Guy was crystal clear, took her daughter, don't care. 16-year-old Somali was undergoing the treatment that required to sit up for 5 hours and could not be interrupted. They had to flee the hospital. Well, that'll keep you awake. An operating room in the next building. Okay. Don't care. Yeah, this is what happens with war. So whenever you know, and let me point this out real quick. It's not that I'm insensitive to the plight of the Ukrainian people in this, but your government is causing this. The American government is pushing this. They are creating this situation. This right here, this tragedy that you're reading about, that you're hearing about, could have been avoided. It could have been avoided almost 2 years ago. It could have been avoided 10 years ago. It could have been avoided 50 years ago. But because our government and your government are doing crappy things, this is the result. Sorry for your plight. Do I feel for you? Yes. Do I really care? No. This is a situation that your government has brought upon you. And if you don't like these kinds of things happening, step up, make your government better. Done covering it. Because this is even funnier. So Justice Sonia Sotomayor's security detail, they shoot a man during an attempted carjacking. Really? I bet he didn't even know it was Sonia Sotomayor. But he did a carjacking for rules that they put in place. Just remember that you're the enforcement wing of this. Sonia, just think. Those handgun laws that you want to promote, they wouldn't have been able to shoot him. Under the laws that you are wanting, the rules that you want to take, the constitutional rights that you want to take, Sonia, from people. Right here, avoided a carjacking. A member of the Supreme Court security detail shot an armed man. Taking away a gun from him wouldn't have stopped him. Attempted carjacking in the early morning hours. It happened as 2 U.S. Marshals were on duty in a government car in Washington, D.C. They were confronted by a man who got out of a silver minivan, pointed a gun at one of them through their driver's side window, according to the criminal complaint. The car was unmarked, but the pair were dressed in U.S. Marshal shirts. The deputy pulled out his department-issued gun and shot the man about 4 times, hitting him in the mouth. He then gave the man first aid while the minivan drove away, charges the state. The suspect was hospitalized and placed under arrest on suspicion of attempted carjacking and resisting officers. Spokesperson for the U.S. Marshals confirmed the deputies were part of the detail protecting the Supreme Court justices. The deputies were stationed near Sotomayor's home. Sotomayor was not directly mentioned in court documents, and there's no indication she was even the target of the attack. It comes after a string of high-profile carjackings in the nation's capital last year. Other victims included a diplomat from the UAE and a U.S. representative, cellular of Texas. Secret Service agents protecting the president, Joe Biden's granddaughter, also opened fire after 3 people tried to break into an unmarked Secret Service vehicle last year. No one was struck. And of course, there's also the Secret Service agent that was protecting the president was held at gunpoint and disarmed. They don't tell you about that one. This is interesting to me. I hadn't seen this one. Share the screen. Prosecutor tells New York City jury at bribery trial that Bob Menendez put power up for sale. Prosecutor accused Bob Menendez of, in a closing argument in his bribery trial on Monday, of putting his power up for sale to benefit 3 New Jersey businessmen who bribed with gold, cash, and luxury car. Huh. That's interesting. In return for bribes, prosecutors say the senator took actions from 2018 to 2022 to protect or enhance the business interests of businessmen, including protecting Walhana's monopoly over the certification of meat exported to Egypt from the U.S. to ensure it conformed to Islamic dietary requirements. Besides charges of bribery, extortion, fraud, and obstruction of justice, Menendez has also been charged with acting as a foreign agent of Egypt. So who is Menendez? He is, it's amazing to me that it took a while for me to point this out, but sorry about that. I'll point it out because, well, as we point out, they like to point out Republicans. Guess what? He's Democrat. Menendez is a Democrat, a senator. Now, if this would have been a Republican, they would have said a prosecutor accusing Republican senator is what they would have said. But instead, this is a Democrat. So you don't find out until they get into the second paragraph, and then they just sort of touch on it. But they don't continue on talking about it afterwards. Because what would happen is they keep saying the presumptive Republican nominee, Trump, the presumptive Republican, the Republican, the Republican, the Republican, the Republican. But whenever it comes to a Democrat, they just say, yeah, we'll leave that. We'll have to put it in there. We don't have to talk about it. Don't bring it up that he's a Democrat. Well, if you're liking your Samsung phones, guess what? Samsung electric workers announced an indefinite strike. In Seoul, South Korea, unionized workers at Samsung's Electronics declared an indefinite strike Wednesday to pressure South Korea's biggest company to accept their calls for higher pay and other benefits. Thousands of members of the National Samsung Electronics Union launched a temporary 3-day strike on Monday, but they said that it was indefinite strike. But union said Wednesday that it was announcing an indefinite strike, accusing the management of being unwilling to negotiate. There you go. Sure. If I was Samsung, I would just shut down the damn doors. Just lock up. Say, done. You got your union. Cool. See you. Bye. Now you want to know why unions suck. There you go. Samsung Electronics will ensure no disruptions occur on the productions line. The company remains committed to engaging in good faith negotiations with the union. However, in a statement posted on its website, the union says engaged in unspecified disruptions on the company's production lines to get management to eventually come to the negotiation table if the strike continues. We are confident of our victory, the union statement said. Yeah, don't care. I don't own Samsung TVs, phones, nothing. Don't care. Those of you that do, good luck. Or looking to buy one, good luck. You're going to see the prices go up. So if you thought that Samsung TV, if you're looking for a Samsung TV, now would be the time to buy, because prices for those are going to get jacked up even higher. Tehran police closed Turkish Airlines office after its employees defy Iran's headscarf law. Tehran. Police in Iran shut down Turkish Airlines office in the capital of Tehran. Iranian media reported Tuesday after female employees are apparently refused to wear the mandatory headscarf or hijab in act of defiance on the country's law. You know, it's luckily that they don't get stoned. But they will get arrested by the country's morality police. And if you think that that's just going to happen in Tehran, that's what's happening in the United States already. You already have the morality police here. Already is here. This is what the people that are talking about save Palestine, they are your morality police. People telling you that it's okay for you to damage your children. They are your new morality police. The people that are telling you it's okay, mental disorder is not mental disorder. The people that are telling you up is down and down is up, those are your morality police. And you've welcomed them into your country. You've welcomed the morality police to overtake everything about you. You've allowed the morality police to lie to you, to steal from you, and to tell you that if you don't agree with them, that you're a bad human being. Because if you support one person over the other, you are a bad human being. Whenever you look at your own morals and they tell you that none of those morals are correct, whenever they call you a racist, a bigot, misogynistic, every time that those morality pieces step up to you and tell you all of the bad things that you are, you allowed that to happen. You can change that. You can tell them no. You can go on strike against these people. You don't have to take crap from them. You're allowing the morality police to do this to you. You want to know how you can stop this? Don't let them do this to you. Don't let them pull this kind of crap. See what Target's going to do? They're going to stop accepting personal checks next week. And guess what? That's not it. That's just the tip of the iceberg. You know what else they're going to do? And it won't be long before they take away your ability to pay cash. They'll say you're going to have to swipe a card. We don't allow cash payments. It's already happening. They're making you used to this. They're setting this up to be your new norm. A cashless society. Well, look how much easier it is. We can just take the money directly out of your bank. All you have to do is swipe your card right here. It makes it so much easier. Why would you want to carry around dollar bills in your pocket? Why would you ever want to do that? Well, because of this. They'll make it impossible for you to be able to carry around cash. And whenever it's all electronic and all online, it makes it much easier to take it away from you. They can come in and say, well, you have a belief that we shouldn't be allowed to chop off little boy parts. And guess what? We're going to cut off your ability to spend any funds in any of our businesses. Morality police are coming for you. In New York, Target will no longer accept personal checks from shoppers as of July 15th, another sign of how a once ambiguous payment method is going away of outmoded objects like floppy disks and the Rolodex. The Minneapolis-based discounter confirmed the move in a statement to the Associated Press on Tuesday, citing, well, there's extremely low volumes of customers who still write checks. Of course, because you've made it so much easier for us to do it electronically. Target said it remained committed to creating an easy and convenient checkout experience with credit and debit cards. With buy now, pay later services. They've already been trying to do this, and it is not good. They are forcing you to take out loans. That's all it is, buy now, pay later. They're forcing you to take out loans. You're being screwed and you don't even know it. We have taken several measures to notify guests in advance about the no checks policy. Beautiful, huh? You pay cash forever? Not for long. Not for long, Rabbit. I hope it doesn't happen in your lifetime, but it's coming. It is coming where you're not going to have any choice, but good to see Iron Rabbit. Love you, sweetheart. We have taken several measures to notify guests in advance about the no checks policy. Target's decision leaves Walmart, Macy's, and Kohl's among the retailers that will still accept personal checks at their store. Whole Foods Market and Aldi stopped taking checks from customers. Shoppers have pulled out checkbooks increasingly less often since the 1990s. Cash dispensing ATMs, debit cards, online banking, and mobile payment systems like Venmo and Apple Pay mean that many young adults may never have ever written a check, balanced a checkbook, or managed their funds in any way, shape, or form. You've been listening but on a tractor? That sounds pretty hot. Good to see you. No, I'm glad you've been listening. I really am. Rabbit is an awesome person. Everybody wish her a happy birthday too. Target's decision leaves Walmart, Macy's, Kohl's. Shoppers have been pulling out checkbooks less often. Check usage has been in decline for decades as Americans have largely switched to paying for their service with credit card. With credit. Credit. You've been buying it now, paying it later. If you're worried about your finances, don't allow this to happen. This is a way of taking control of your money. However, the average size of the checks Americans wrote over the 32-year period rose from $673 in 1990, or in today's dollars, $1,602, to $2,652. The drop in the check writing enabled the Fed to sharply reduce its national check processing infrastructure. In 2003, it ran 45 check processing locations nationwide. Since 2010, it has operated only one. Rising incidents of check fraud are also making people shy away from the check writing. It's being fueled by an organized crime that is forcing small businesses and individuals to take additional safety precautions or avoid sending checks through the mail altogether. Or you could just have people paying cash. You know, here's my problem with this, is that there is an advantage, because if all you have to do is swipe your card, then you can basically walk through a checkout, and all you have to do is swipe your card. Wait until they implant the chip in you, and you're just able to swipe that chip across. I mean, they're already testing it out. People have chips. They're able to, they have chips under their skin to be able to do this. They're going to take away your ability to use cash. More than likely in my lifetime, that will go away. Old tractor for an old lady. I love it. In my lifetime, it will go away. Your ability to do this without any problem. Don't want to talk about this. It's going to happen. So be prepared to be triggered, because support for legal abortion has risen since Supreme Court eliminated protections. Supreme Court did not eliminate protections. Supreme Court sent it back to the states for the states to make that decision, however they want to handle it. They took the power away from the federal government, and the Democrats hate that this happened. They don't like losing power. Solid majority of Americans oppose, as a rising number support. New poll finds don't care. And as I said before, if they're quoting a poll, I don't trust their poll whatsoever. I don't trust polls. They can go away. So done with that. White House faces many questions about Biden's health and medical history. Here are some of the answers. Oh, in case you didn't hear about this, administration officials has blamed his confusion, at times indecipherable answers at the debate with Donald Trump. Oh, on a head cold, on jet lag, on poor preparation at Camp David for 2 weeks ahead of this. That his health to be a key issue for many voters. Don't care. That's another poll. Don't care. Biden's physician issued his first comment since the debate Monday after White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre portable stankhole struggled to address questions about the president's health. Yeah, they did. How often does the president see a doctor? He has extensive yearly exams, she said, but added most Americans don't understand the extent of medical care provided to a president. And it says the doctors once or twice a year. By contrast, the president's medical unit just steps down from the resistance at the White House a couple of times a week. Biden does a verbal check-in with his doctor while he's exercising. Okay. There's been confusion on whether Biden saw his doctor about his cold after the debate on the 27th, with the White House initially said there was no medical exam, but later said there was a short verbal check-in, and it was determined that no exam was needed. He has seen a neurologist 3 times, not more than that. White House person repeated the phrase 3 times in 17 instances during Monday's briefing. She stressed that all 3 meetings with a neurologist were tied to the president's annual physical exam, but declined to say where Biden had seen the neurologist, whether the visits were here or at Walter Reed, at the medical center, elsewhere. And they don't have anything to state as to location. Have Biden's physical exam found signs of Parkinson or other Neurological diseases? No, because they're not going to tell you if it is. Extremely detailed neurological exam was it with Jesus. They're finding these are just words on a piece of paper. They declined to confirm the name of the doctor, of course. There are thousands of military personnel that come to the White House. Many of them get the care, but of course, they are not talking about what actually happened. They're avoiding it even in this news story. Could Biden waive his rights and make full medical records? Oh, he could choose to, but share a comprehensive medical report, but that's pretty detailed. 2008 allowed reporters to view more than 1,100 pages of his medical records when he was running for president in 71, but would have made him the oldest elected president at the time. Remember, if he has an issue, then he is not competent to be president. Good morning, King Paco. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is dangerous. It is bad. It's scary that this guy is not running anything. And of course, we have the unfortunate news that former U.S. Senator Jim Ivanhoe, who called human-caused climate change a hoax, he is dead at 89. And he's basically said that human activity contributed to this is the greatest hoax ever perpetrated on the American people. In February 2015, when temperatures in the nation's capital below freezing, he brought a snowball onto the Senate floor and he tossed it before claiming that environmentalists focus on attention on global warming as it kept getting cold. Yep. That is where Ivanhoe got his name. Well, made his name is basically saying we are not playing. Yep, that is so true, MLS, that he died of climate change and they are hiding the truth. That is exactly what they're doing. Hiding the truth of what really killed him. Not the fact that he was 89. Ukraine opens DC weapons office in Europe, bolsters defense spending as November elections loom. NATO countries are moving to shore up their weapons production capabilities by signing nearly a $700 million contract for more Stinger missiles. Oh, isn't that amazing? Well, who makes the Stinger missile? I'm curious. Who makes the Stinger missiles. Let's do a quick search. Who produces the Stinger missile? Missile. Ah, there it is. Let's see. Copy that, and I'll just do a quick search here for Raytheon and the let's see, we've got let's see. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. Let's pull this up. Overview. Come on. Oh boy. Let's see. Over the past 24 hours, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh my Lord. Let's look at this really quick. I'll pull this here and let's expand this out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Ah, boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's see what we've got here. We are going to put this out over the past year. Raytheon stock over 1 year, it was at $69.38 around October 5th. Now, if we look at year to date, it's climbed a little bit. Started out at 85 at the beginning of the year, about $84 at the beginning of the year, and currently had a drop off. That means that people were buying it up. No, it's steadily climbing. RTX has been steadily climbing. It's at about $101 right now per share. And with this right here, if once they shore up that $1 million contract, you know how much that stock is going to be worth? Oh my God. Oh man. This is hilarious. That is crazy. Ah, boy. And I suspect that the price is probably going to dump here pretty soon. I would imagine that the price is going to be dumping on Raytheon. It'll dump and then it'll all of a sudden pick back up. Or it'll just stay where it is and all of a sudden a lot of people will be buying it. Or if they don't get the contract and this stuff isn't signed by NATO countries, the price will tank like crazy. Jacques Daddy, how you doing? If you're having a stroke, you should seek medical help immediately. And don't go swimming if you're having a stroke. Ukraine, a partner that relies on military aid from NATO members, is opening a small office in Washington to strengthen its ties to U.S. defense industry. Oh, no. Why is Ukraine coming over here? Why are they sucking at the teat of American taxpayers? There is no way to provide strong defense without strong defense industry. I don't trust this at all. I don't trust this at all. This is bull right here. Since the invasion, U.S. provided more than $53.6 billion in weapons and security assistance to Ukraine. Wrong. That is a lie. It is much higher than that. The U.S. has been putting together a hell of a lot more than that. We have been spending so much money in Ukraine. 53.6 billion doesn't even touch it. Does not even touch it. We have been fighting a proxy war with Russia. If that gives you any idea, we have been fighting a freaking proxy war with Russia. Horrible. Oh man. Yeah, I don't trust this one damn bit. Yes, RTX was, it's only gone up $1 per share. So people are waiting. People are waiting. Boeing Corporation lost money, or its stock went down in value. When can we see 100? That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Good luck. You're not going to see any of this happen. You're not going to see Trump behind bars. You're not going to see Biden behind bars. Not going to happen. And look, you want it to happen, but it's not going to. Just will not happen. But now comes the time for me to show you what I've been working on. This was something I did a few days ago. I had been trying to come up with a new break song. I mean, I like the one that I've got, but I think it's a little long. So I wanted to wanted to do something newer with it. And I was able to come up with some lyrics, but the song, let me make sure I can hear it. There we go. Make sure that I'm able to hear it. This is what I've been working on for like a break song right here. So we got this one.
Sandy shores, get a tan, Rambo the orangutan. Driving a golf cart, old man Rambo is half crazy, yes he can. Well, that SOB's a sight to F and see. Oh, Rambo's rolling, rolling, rolling. Has the sun, he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast.
I got that one. I got this one.
Sandy shores, get a tan, Rambo the orangutan. Driving a golf cart, Rambo's half crazy. Oh, that SOB's a sight to F and see. Oh, Rambo's rolling, rolling, rolling. As the sun is free at last.
Liking any of them so far? Pretty cool, huh? So I came up with a few of them, and I still have got some kinks in there that I'm working on. Oh yeah, it's all basically the same song, just different versions of it. This one was fun.
On the sandy shores, Rambo the orangutan. Cleaning golf cart, a place so free. Grinning big, he's a sight to see.
All the vocals are a bit off.
Sandy shores, get a tan, Rambo the orangutan.
They got really good intros on almost all of them. I'm like, man, they could just.
Shores, get a tan, Rambo the orangutan. Driving a golf cart, Rambo is half crazy. Sandy shores, get a tan, Rambo the orangutan. Driving a golf cart, Rambo is half crazy. Like SOB's a sight to F and see. Rambo's rolling, rolling, rolling. As the sun is free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having a thing blast. Oh, Rambo's rolling, rolling, rolling. As the sun is free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Shizzy on the
Yeah, this one. I thought this one was pretty cool.
Sandy shores, get a tan, Rambo the orangutan. Driving a golf cart, old man Rambo is half crazy, yes he can. Well, that SOB's a sight to F and see. Oh, Rambo's rolling, rolling, rolling.
Yeah, that one didn't work.
Sandy shores.
But you guys like the idea of a new one? Because that's what I'm working on. I'm working on a new like little. Yeah, I like the big band one also. I think it's because you're like not in the big band. Yeah, everybody's gonna have their flavor to it. So I'm looking to just either replace the current song I have, just have a little bit of fun with it, and shorten it down because I think it's a little bit too long for the break. Because I'm usually sitting back here with my coffee, just like, oh wow, this is a long freaking break. So all I need is a couple of minutes to go grab a fresh cup of coffee. But I've been working on getting a new song out there for it, so it'll be fun. And well, tonight of course is going to be an interesting night because if I'm not mistaken, there's a birthday celebration that's happening this evening. And then of course I'm going to probably be doing a stream over on mine a little bit later, maybe before. Just depends on what time that stream happens for for Valhalla's birthday. If I'm not mistaken, there's a Valhalla birthday stream that's happening. So all of you guys, go check that out whenever you can. Thursday is going to be a pretty interesting one. I've got something planned, but I don't have it all fleshed out. So once I know, I'll let you guys in on that one. It'll probably be Thursday morning whenever I get it fleshed out. And of course, I'll be doing a stream Friday morning and possibly on Friday Night Live. Sometimes I'm there. That all just depends on invite and if I'm working or if my wife is keeping me tied up. Yeah, we're into that play. No, I'm just kidding. No, there is no tying up. That would be weird. But then of course, usually Saturday, Sunday, I don't do too much of anything except for Sunday night, which Sunday night we will have more of TJ Finn's book reading. If you missed the first one, chapters 1 through 5, we did last weekend. Definitely worth checking out because we're going to be doing some more chapters this next Sunday. And then of course, Monday, we'll be at an undisclosed location, which you guys will only know about whenever it happens. So make sure that you're subbed up to the expert, MG Law, to myself, and to Volstorm. Volstorm is, you can find him at Caliber in character or his regular name, but I'm sure he's going to be doing this under Caliber in character whenever it comes his time to do this. So you guys, make sure that you're subbed up there to all these fine people. Make sure that you've got your notifications turned on so you get notifications. And what I'll do is the day of, if you're not subbed to me, I will provide a link to where we will be found on Monday night. And it is going to be a blast wherever we are. Everybody, make sure, have a good day. Don't let the government bring you down. Don't let the boneheads that are doing stupid things bring you down, because their idiocy does not affect you. It really doesn't. The only way that it'll affect you is if you let it affect you. In the meantime, you should take control over your own actions, because that's the only control that you have. Yep, there you go. Caliber in character. If you go to his personal page, you get nothing. There you go. Caliber in character is what you'd be looking for. Make sure that you, if you get the opportunity, that you get subbed up to him, because where we're going to be is going to be one of those three places. It won't be on my channel because I did it this past week. I did it a couple of days ago. It will be either on Ballstorms, Experts, or MGs. So make sure that you're subbed up to those. Ballstorms is at Caliber in character. And that, everybody, have a wonderful day. We will see you tonight. Peace, y'all.
Now I gotta call somebody to come get me because my car turned into a spaceship and I don't know how to fly it. I'm not an astronaut.